in your mind, did the COVID vaccine work?
It's such an interesting question, because not only that, I also did the Regenerons of the world, we did a tremendous job on that. But we had a vaccine. I really don't want to talk about it, because as a Republican, it's not a great thing to talk about, because for some reason, it's just not.
For some reason, So that is part of the Brett Baier interview on Fox News, just the gift that keeps on giving this week. New gems uncovered at every point and turn, where he's trying to nail Trump on at least one thing. And there Trump is just holding back, almost self-censoring, saying that, yeah, I wonder why we don't talk about the vaccine. I mean, it's a complicated question. Did it work? John, he says it's complicated. So that's number one. Did it work? It's complicated. That sounds like a scared person.
Yeah. Well, look, he is definitely scared. That comes across in a variety of different ways. The fact that he says for some reason, and won't say the actual reason, he goes on to be like, some people love it and some people hate it. Republicans, and he like trails off and then changes his tune. Like, he is clearly scared, but he also is talking about it. Like, he could have just immediately, as soon as the question was posed, divert to something else, but he really wants credit for it.
Right. Well,
he should. It's actually a thing that he did, but totally. He also knows how dangerous it is.
Yes, and to John's point on how he sort of tries to weave and bob and figure out what his line is, here is the full answer to that question. Take a look.
So I have a Democrat friend who's very smart. Hopefully he votes for me, but he's very smart. He said, I don't understand one thing about you. I watch your rallies, they're incredible. You talk about beating ISIS, you talk about taxes, you talk about regulation, you talk about everything. But you never said that, I've never heard you talk about how the incredible job you did with the vaccines, because as you know, I got them done in 9 months and it was supposed to take anywhere from 5 to 12 years. I broke their ass, okay? And you know who doesn't like me too much? The FDA, because they were very bureaucratic and I got it done. And he said, you may have saved in the world, throughout the world, 100 million people, and you never talk about it. I said, I really don't want to talk about it, because as a Republican, it's not a great thing to talk about, because for some reason, it's just not.
For some reason?
Yeah, for some reason, because people love the vaccines and people hate the vaccines, but conservatives aren't. And I understand both sides of it, by the way. I understand both sides very well. But you have a lot of people that love the vaccines. I mean, you do. They happen to be more Democrat than they are Republican.
That's why I asked the question.
But you have a lot of people. There are people that say I saved 100 million lives. I don't even talk about it.
I don't even talk about it. If you say, because I'm humble, except now I'm talking about it, 100 million lives, and we'll talk about that. It seems like 100 million is the only number that he can sort of hold in his head at one time when it comes to COVID-19. But there you had it, John. Like, he's almost like saying the Democrats like him for it, Republicans don't. He doesn't know why. He doesn't actually say they're anti-vax. At all. At any moment does he say that, because they think it causes blank, they think no. And in fact, and this is what I picked up on, obviously the phrase, we broke their ass, when Donald Trump says that, you immediately want to take 5 showers or 100 million showers in his words. But he's saying that he hurried the FDA for approval, which I think under the circumstances was the right call. It was important. And yet, so many conservatives, they're mad that they believe that the FDA did like a shoddy, like fast-paced job or whatever, they just completely sped it through, and that's why it's not trustworthy. So he's kind of echoing and taking credit for one of the very points that some anti-vaxxers point to as to why they refuse the vaccine.
Yeah, they definitely say that that's one of the reasons they don't like the vaccine. So to whatever extent that is an honest expression of their thoughts, they should be very angry at Donald Trump. But Donald Trump should not be worried. They don't mean any of it. It has nothing to do with the FDA. Remember when they were saying like, well, I'm not gonna take it because it hasn't received FDA approval. And then the FDA approval comes through, they don't take it. Like, it's all just excuses. They don't like the idea of it. They don't wanna do it because Tucker Carlson barked at them for a year. That's why. It's not because they read about it in a scientific journal. It's because Mark Levin shrieked at them. That's it. That's the whole thing. I have to say, as dirty as it did feel, I do like that expression now. Whenever you beat the estimated time for a task, you get to declare that you busted their asses, I guess, or broke their asses.
You broke their ass.
But also, I just wish that, look, to whatever extent there are Republicans that agree with him that he got the vaccine made faster, I would love to sit them down and have them explain in their own words what they think he did. That a vaccine that he says was gonna take 5 to 12 years, which nobody was saying, instead got done in 2.5 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
He funded the vaccine. That's what he did. And I want to hear a conservative say, yeah, if it had been Bernie or Hillary, they wouldn't have. You know, they're willing to totally remake American society, lock everything down, mask everything, but they weren't gonna put the money into it. They love taxing and spending on everything, but they weren't gonna fund the vaccine. That is his actual claim to why he deserves unique credit for that. And obviously, anybody, if Louis Gohmert was president, the vaccine effort was gonna be funded.
Yeah.
It's just such a stupid claim to make.
It is stupid because simultaneously he was casting doubt on the entire thing. That it was even a thing, that COVID was even real, and that it wasn't just a case of like injecting bleach into your body, and that they were on it, but like not really. Go live your lives, enjoy Easter, or all the many times he made sure that Americans were as unsafe as possible. So it'll be fascinating, and we're gonna cover it, of course, the Republican primary when he and Ron DeSantis are doing this race to the bottom of how many body counts they had. But for now, Trump is repeating that he saved 100 million people. Not clear where he came up with it. He said he's been saying this was 2021, August of 2021. I think if we didn't come up during the Trump administration with the vaccine, you could have had 100 million people dead, just like you had in 1917. You take the Spanish flu, 100 million people, up to 100 million people. I think we'd be in that territory. Yeah, he doesn't know what territory he's in at any time.
Wait, Francesca, that's weird because he made that up in 2021. I thought his Democratic friend told him that he saved 100 million people. That's so weird.
It's weird. This is the same number. Wow, the Democrats are pulling strings for him.
Yeah.
Obviously, 100 million people. Luckily, we did not reach 7 million deaths worldwide. Over 1.1 million in this country, and still dying, by the way. But he's right about the base. Look, 44% of people who identify as Republican or lean Republican say parents should be able to opt out of childhood vaccines, up from 20% in 2019. In contrast, the vast majority of Democrats and those who lean Democrat support requiring vaccines for public school students. Little change from 2019. So that's just, vaccines writ large. Then here, this is from Kaiser last year, or 2021, excuse me, unvaccinated adults are now more than 3 times as likely to lean Republican as Democrat. I mean, it's like, is this the hill they're gonna die on, John? Like, is this gonna be, I mean, I like say RFK Jr. sort of facetiously, but also not. There are many people making a massive amount of money and building their own profile based on their anti-vax stances. And yeah, they tend to lean Republican. And I remember, Anna has pointed out before, a lot of other people have pointed out, the margin of error, the margin of votes by which Donald Trump lost to Joe Biden, and in which states. There's a lot of voters unaccounted for because a lot of them could not vote because they were dead.
100%. Yeah. So look, we definitely understand why right-wing media decided to pick this up and lie that they were against the vaccine when basically all of them have the vaccine. And not just conservatives, why people who had not identified as conservative decided that in the pursuit of right-wing eyes and money, they would start to push this stuff. And if they had to move their other positions to be more right-wing for it to be consistent, they were willing to do that. But for the viewers, for the regular conservatives or whatever, it's in a lot of ways, it's like the perfect lie. because conservatives are hyper-focused on purity and cleanliness. They've been told that this is the thing that makes you pure. If you get it, you're dirty. So values-wise, it's good. It allows them to, in a really shallow way, pretend that they're like critical of big pharma or something when supporting candidates who are perfectly fine with maintaining the status quo of health insurance and all that. It's secret information too. The sheep think you're supposed to take it, but I learned on 4chan that it's bad. So I'm intellectually superior to you because I have access to secret information. Also, I don't just bow down to the big government. I'm thinking for myself. It really plays into like all of the right-wing thing of wanting to feel simultaneously like a genius and a hero and a victim and an aggrieved minority all at once.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.